did the last video. I accidentally ended the last video. I don't know how the hell I did it, but you know we're here again, so I'm gonna have to go back in and remember to delete that too. But we should be live now. Okay, just a couple things quick. I'm not gonna take a ton of your time. Okay, I left the meeting because it was being live streamed, idiot. So I'm not going to take up much of your time. Okay, I do want this to be a quick video, but I do think it's important that we go through this right now. Why? The why is most important. So I'm just coming back from vacation. And I got a lot of time to reflect and think. See, we went to the beach, me and my family, and I hate the beach. The beach is not my place at all. And so I don't spend time on the beach. I'll go to the beach at nighttime. You know, I'll stop down and see the kids at the beach or whatever, but I don't, I'll leave that to my in-laws to go hang out with the kids and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that. That's not my thing. So I'm there and I'm spending a lot of time in this condo, and I'm thinking a lot about the last, couple months. I'm thinking about the whirlwind of different things that have gone on, and, just how insane work has been. Our goals are higher and higher, and it feels like we're stretching and pushing, and it feels like we have this great team, and everything's kind of fitting into place. But then some things are crumbling at the same time. It's a really confusing feeling. It's a really confusing thought, and I think we all go through this in different respects. And to me, I'm going, okay, I have these, like, let's say 3 different major projects that I want to work on that are super important to me, but I don't know where to put my time and focus. And so what ends up happening is I have to do all of them instead of, focusing on one, finishing it, and doing the next one and finishing it. And so as I'm on vacation, Michael, as I'm on vacation, I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, man, like, between us getting a visit from corporate and us having to work on that stuff, between us wanting to send people over into management, into sales, into create programs for that, and our remote canvasser program, and several other things, of course, on top of our normal jobs. Things just been really busy. There's been a ton of shit. And so it makes things very distracting and difficult. Not to mention, by the way, too, you got your personal life. I have my personal life. I have a lot of things going on, right? I mean, like, without getting into my personal stuff, there's tons of stuff life throws at you, tons of stuff. And I'm a pretty positive person. I remain pretty positive in most situations. And so doing that, staying positive, can be tough, and it takes a lot out of you. So then you start staying up late. For me, it's staying up late. For me, it's drinking Red Bulls, and it's I'm smoking cigarettes again, and all this unhealthy stuff, and you're trying to just maintain, but it feels sometimes like the walls are closing in. And you might feel this way too. For you, it might be a different issue. I mean, look, you're at a different stage of your career than I'm at. Let's just say, for example, I'm just going to take, if you're a team lead and you're sitting there going, look, I want to grow in my career. I love my job. I love the company I work for. Maybe you don't, but I love all this stuff about it. I like this, I like that. I'm making good money, but I feel like I'm not moving forward, or I feel like my team's not moving forward, or maybe I've made some mistakes that have impacted and stunted my growth. Those things are gonna eat away at your mind, and you're gonna, what's gonna happen is you're gonna hold grudges. You're gonna start to hate people, places, and things. You're gonna start to hate the issues that surround you. And it starts with that, and then it moves on to your employees, and it moves into all these different places that it doesn't need to impact. It starts to impact. And so we got to talk about how we roll that back, and how we kind of get rid of that feeling, and how we move forward, right? Because the reality is that most of us are here for the same reason, and it's growth. And none of us are here just because we love door to door. None of us are here because we love windows. We're here because we wanted to find a career. We wanted to find a place to grow. And we said, hey, this is where we're going to put our money. This is where we're going to put our time, right? That's what we decided to do. And there's a reason why we did that. There's a reason why we did that. And we were confident in that. And some of us still are. Like myself, for example, I know what this is. I mean, I've been here before. But some of us, no doubt, are going, oh, man, it's July now. People are on vacation. I'm running into these difficult things out here. Maybe if you're a team lead, maybe you're losing employees. Maybe you're gaining a lot of new employees. There's a lot of stuff that you need to focus on that you're having difficulty with. But I'm telling you, there's a way to pull through. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to take a second, pause the video. Okay, please take a second. I want you to write down a couple things. Okay. First, I want you to write down any projects, whether it's your personal life or it's your work life, or it's a mixture of both. Maybe relationship, any projects or things that you're working on right now that are on your mind. Okay. And you might go, well, my relationship's not a project. Okay, fine. But what's on your mind is what I mean. Okay. What is renting that space in your mind? And just, you pause this video, write that down real quick. Okay. The second thing I want you to do is write down any negative feeling that you have about, we're going to focus on work, but you can do this about anything, right? But we're going to focus on work. Any con, any difficulty that you've ran into, anything that you're frustrated with. If let's say that you're frustrated with me because you say, hey, this guy, he told me he was going to give me this and he didn't give me this or something, then write that down. Okay. If it's with a team lead, if it's with training, anything at all, write it down. I'm asking you to do it about work. Pause this again and do that about work. You can do it about your personal life too if you want to, but do this about work definitely. Okay. All right. Now I want you to think about it for a second. Okay. And I want you to write down any pro, even if it hasn't come into fruition. Why did you start with this company? Why did you continue with this company? Why are you here? Okay. What is your goal? What is the ultimate end game? Okay. And that shouldn't have changed for you, by the way, too. If that changed for you, it's a separate problem. Okay. If that changed for you, that goal changed for you, I mean, it could be, sure, maybe a major life change happened and that made that goal change. Maybe you won the lottery and you say, I don't care about money anymore. That's not what I'm focused on. So I want to change that goal. But don't let your experiences or difficulty in a job change that for you. It doesn't make sense to do that. What should happen is if you run into difficulty at your job, all these positions that you want to grow into, right? Whether it's sales or management or install or anything, all of these things require a certain amount of growth and maturity. And part of growth and maturity is looking at things for what they are and going, okay, how can I figure out a solution to this that's not drastic, a solution to this that doesn't just implode everything, right? And there's some people out there that tend to implode. And if you're in this, when you think about this, okay, and I want you to really think about this. When you're in a situation, like, for example, a lot of people do this with relationships, they start to get something on their mind and they feel like, maybe that person doesn't like me. Maybe they're cheating on me. Maybe they don't care about me that much. Any negative thought that's in their head, they start to expand upon it. And then if it's not addressed, and I do this all the time, if it's not addressed, then it continues to grow and assumptions are made. And all of a sudden in this person's mind, their relationship is terrible. They hate their relationship. They're scared of their relationship. They're scared to deal with their problems and they implode. And their spouse or their boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever is going, what the hell is going on with you? Why are you acting like this? I don't even know who you are, man. Like, this is crazy, right? And it's not fair to our spouses to act like this. You know what? It's not fair to your employer, your teammates, your team lead to act like this as well. It's not fair to me. It's not fair for me to act like this toward the owner of the company or towards, my boss. It's not fair for us to do that, right? So we got to really think about that actively. And it's important that we fight that feeling and that we fight the need for that behavior, right? So I'm going to write that down, though. I'm going to write down any negative feeling that you might have and then any positive, right? Your goal should not change because you're not doing a good job. All of this shit, canvassing is the easy part, guys. We can teach you how to do a good job. Management, easy part. We can teach you how to do a good job. That's it. I need to be more active in your careers. Maybe that's all. That's all that needs to happen. But we can teach that. We can really, really get that done. And we can get that done pretty immediately. So I'm going to emphasize this. I'm going to put all my time into that. All my time is going to go into that. My other projects, I can do them on my free time. All of my time is going into you. Now that you have this stuff set aside, okay, I want you to really reflect on this. So pause the video for a good couple minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want, 40 minutes, and just think about these things, okay? Really think about your career, all right? And then think about what's at stake. We talked about this before, okay? This company provides really good opportunities. Let's say that you want to move into sales. It's not a difficult move. This is the job to do it from. We have a huge success rate moving people from this job into sales. And those people are all making $200,000+ a year, all of them, okay? So what's at stake here, guys, is a great career. Now you might go, yeah, but it's tough canvassing this and that or whatever. I get it. It's 8 to 12 months of your career, and then you can move on and you can do your sales career and you can make really good money. I mean, you can make $500,000 a year in a job like that, no problem. And you might be really, all of you are really young. All of you could benefit from that. All of you could make retirement money off that. Why go work at a 7-Eleven until you find the union job that you want? It's making 60 grand a year to get a pension of 40 grand a year. That doesn't make any sense. You don't got to do all that, okay? You can focus on this and you can win through this. And management, same thing. You wanted that growth path where you would keep soaring and keep moving up, that long-term pattern. If you want ownership in a company, then this is the pattern to take. You got to keep learning. It's a developmental career. That's what it is. You're getting thrown in a team lead role. You know that you're getting thrown into a high-level management job. Okay. with mid-level experience at best, okay? And you're getting paid well to do it, but it takes time and it takes energy. And if you haven't gotten there yet, then like I asked you to, you really got to examine why. I'll give you the goals to get there, and then I'll help you take control of your career. But the bottom line is we have to take control of our careers here. Why? Even if it's not at this company, guys, it's super important. That's your future. In the economy, the way it's going right now, you don't want to be jumping jobs in this economy. You really, really don't. Okay. Go ahead, look at things. You go, oh, well, inflation's gotten better. Okay, look underneath that, guys. This is not the time to be jumping jobs, especially if you want to own a home or do own a home or have kids. Just not the time to do it. Don't add that stress to your life. You don't need to do it. Okay. So let's focus on getting rid of that adversity. Now let's talk about the job itself. Okay. So you put all this stuff into perspective. Now you're ready to listen to how you fix the problems that you might run into. Let's talk about those problems. A lot of people deal with adversity in this job, like dealing with rebuttals and objections and things like that. And that's stuff that's fair. Okay. Now, when you first start in the job, you're given a list of rebuttals, you memorize those rebuttals, and you utilize those rebuttals, hopefully. And your manager probably does something a little bit different than you because they have more experience. They've learned a lot more than you, obviously, over time. That's the way the job works. And you'll do the same thing, no problem. Okay. All right. So now how do we focus moving forward? Okay. The biggest thing that people struggle with is how to connect with the customer, especially if they're frustrated at their job. So they go up to a house and they're getting a little bit of a reaction like this. Knock, knock, knock. Good afternoon. My name is Paul Duffy. I hope you're Mr. Jones. And they look probably down. They look kind of upset. And the customer's going, nope, not interested. And they're getting defeated inside. And they're saying, okay, well, I didn't expect to catch you on the day where you're replacing windows. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they're saying, well, sir, we just did a job for Mrs. Smith right down the street on 123 Main Street. The reason why I'm out here is because you had the original vinyl windows. And the person's going, nope, not doing windows. I'm good, buddy. Thank you, though. And they're going, okay, so you have a good day. And then they're walking away all down. Okay. There's a way to deal with this, guys. That's not the way to deal with it. Of course, you're not getting numbers if that's what you're doing. Let's talk about how you change that then, okay? So it starts with your approach. It starts with what you do as you're walking up to the home. So the first thing is you got to get yourself in an attitude. You really have to get yourself in an attitude to do this job, a positive attitude. And you might say, well, that's pretty hard right now. Fake it. Fake it. I mean, you can do that, okay? 150%. You can have all this stuff going on in your life, and I know it's difficult stuff, and you can fake it. Are you going to be as effective as you would be if you weren't faking it? Instead, you really felt great? No, but sometimes you got to fake it in order to feel great. So the first thing you need to do, guys, be enthusiastic. Don't be ridiculous. Be enthusiastic. When you see a car coming down the road, you don't got to, jump up and down like this, but wave at the person. Say, acknowledge their existence. When you see that car coming or you see that person walking their dog, hey, how's it going? Wave. Even if the car's coming, how's it going? They can't hear you. It doesn't matter. It's the attitude that you put forth. It's what you're putting into the day. That's what you're going to get back. That's what customers are going to give you back. And when you're in their neighborhood and you're wondering, oh man, why am I getting the police called on me? Because people think I'm sketchy. This is going to be part of the reason why, if you're not doing stuff like this, the reason why I can walk around with all my tattoos and stuff like that and not feel threatening to people is because hey, someone told me when I was on vacation, which is actually kind of messed up, but someone told me when I held the elevator for them, okay? And I said, oh, very nice to meet you. And I pressed the button for them. They're like, oh, I was kind of surprised. You made me nervous because your tattoos. I'm like, oh, that's kind of ridiculous. But I just told them I appreciate it. But yeah, people get this predetermined view in their mind. And so if you're walking you got your headphones in and you're walking down and you're looking at your phone and you have this shit look on your face, then people are not going to want to talk to you. And you're setting yourself up for failure right away. So as you're walking, by the way, to walk motivated, walk like you're ready to go somewhere, like you're actually at work or like you're doing something, okay? Walk like you're excited, like you're ready to talk to customers and wave at people. It's very simple. A lot of people are outside now. Wave at people, okay? When you see somebody outside, approach them. Somebody's walking their dog. Hi, good afternoon. I just want to introduce myself. I'm in the neighborhood. I want to let you know what I was doing. I didn't want to freak out. I want to let you know what I was doing. We just did some work right over here on 123 Main Street. Talk to that person walking their dog or the person mowing their lawn. When you approach a house, wave at the house. You might go, well, that's crazy. Why am I waving at the house? Just in case the person's looking. Just take a couple waves as you're going up, right? You're looking at the windows, you're examining the windows. Okay. You don't want to look like you're being a creep, but when you're looking at the windows, which you should be doing, then wave. Okay. Now, when you're walking up to the house, guys, look for things that you can resonate with, not things that you like, but things that you find interesting about that customer. So for example, if I see a customer that, let's say, has a big model train outside their house or something like that, I don't give a shit about trains at all, but I'm interested in why that customer decided that was going to be something that they were going to do. That was a route that they were going to go. They were going to start collecting collectible trains. I think that's interesting that they decided that was interesting enough for them to start collecting. Okay. So does that make sense to you? If it doesn't, then I would urge you to think about, again, a relationship or a friendship, right? When you're starting to get to know somebody, you don't tell them things about yourself rapidly. You ask them questions about themselves. You want to get to know that person, okay? Sure, you might tell them a little bit more about you and stuff like that too as time goes on. But the first thing I know about myself, the first thing I want to know is what's this person like? What do they care about? What do they find important, right? Okay. So second, so you now waved at the house, okay? You're ready to talk to the person. You looked, first at the windows and you looked at the different things around you. All right, so now you're approaching the house here. You got a smile on your face. You got to get the smile and you got to keep it on, guys. It's extremely important to have the smile. And it doesn't got to be ridiculous, okay? Just smile. Just, act natural. It's simple. I know it's hard to do. You'll smile naturally if you're not frowning. Like, that's the way it is. I always walk around with a smile on my face all the time. Even if, this is not a smile. But I mean, anything like this, like anything at all other than that, and you're good. You're smiling. Okay. All right. Now, when you go to approach the house, when you go to knock, okay, we know this, but give a friendly knock. Don't boom, 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 boom. Okay. You don't want the person to think that you're the police, but you do want the person to be able to hear you knock. So give it a very good, healthy, a good friendly knock. Okay. It's important because the customer can hear you. Ring the doorbell, first of all, too, if you can do that. But if there's no doorbell, then do this. So the customer can hear you. Give that long, friendly knock or that loud, friendly knock. Okay. When the person comes out, guys, eye contact is important. Not creepy eye contact. Don't look at them like you want to kill them or like you want a relationship with them. Okay. Just healthy eye contact. All right. You don't got to shake their hand or not like that. Stand up straight. Okay. Have good posture when you're talking to that customer, or else they're going to feel like if you're, crouched down, they're going to feel like they can take advantage of you because your body language is telling them that you're submitting to them, that you're not there for business. Okay. So keep the eye contact, keep good posture, elevate your voice. Voice tone is extremely important. Don't yell at the person, but speak with authority is what I call it. Just, good afternoon, sir. My name is Paul Duffy. You must be Mr. Jones. However slow you think you're going, slow down just a little bit more. Okay, just a little bit more. All right, speak with intent. Okay, so now I've knocked on the door. I'm standing up straight. I got my iPad in my hand. Person comes out. Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Jones, right? And greet them right away. Greet them before they even get to the door. Okay, good afternoon, you Mr. Jones. Hi, Mr. Jones. I'm with Renewal by Anderson. We just did some work and you're smiling. And by the way, to move around, get the juices flowing, feel good. Okay. We just did some work for your neighbor. Actually, Mrs. Jones right down the street, and point. It doesn't even matter where you point. You'll have that one customer every 4,000 doors that will be like, that's that way, actually. But usually that's not going to happen. We just did some work for Mrs. Jones, actually, right down the street on 123 Main Street. But the reason why I'm out here is, look, you have the original vinyl windows. How long have you lived in the home? Okay. Point at them. Use your body. Use your, you're going to move them physically, their eyesight, when you start to point at stuff. That's important. You're executing that level of control over the conversation. So we just did some work for Mrs. Jones, actually, right down the street. Reason why I'm out here is it looked at the original vinyl windows. I had to ask, how long have you lived in the home? Okay, made she ask that question, how long have you lived in the home? The person's going to answer probably, usually they do, 5 years, but I'm not doing anything with the windows. When you hear that, don't be like, oh, okay. When you hear that, don't be like, well, sir, I didn't expect to catch you. Don't be jumpy with it, okay? When you hear that, listen. If you need to take a second, even after you listen, take a second and nod. Okay, cool. Just, so when they say, yeah, 5 years, 2 years, let's just say 2 years, but we're not doing anything with the windows, sorry. Okay, no, of course, sir. I would never ask that of you. But what I do want to point out is with these original vinyl windows, I did notice that there was some rot around the edges of the sill here. Was that like that when you moved in? Okay. Was that like that when you moved in? Right. That question. Okay. No matter what they say, they can, unless they say, no, I don't have that, or the windows are fine, which they very well could do. If they say the windows are fine, then I'm going to say, okay, so you must not have noticed the rot then. I'm guessing a lot of people wouldn't, sir. Okay. I'm offering them an out. I'm questioning it. I'm pushing it, but I'm not saying, no, it's right there. Okay. I'm not being a dick about it. I'm just, okay. So you probably didn't notice a lot of people don't notice things like that. Okay. Well, let's just say the person goes, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess it's been there since I moved in, but I haven't really paid much attention to the windows. I'm not going to do anything with the windows now. So I don't really want to think about it. I don't really care about it. Okay, sir. But again, just a brief conversation. So the reason why we did the job down the street was because the same exact issues that I see here. Now, I did notice, sir, that there was a bit of glass impaction, which is a warping of the glass in the windows up here on the left side. I'm guessing the sun beats down on this side of the house quite a bit. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But, look, man, like I said, I'm not doing anything with the windows. The windows are fine. In my book, they're not that much of a problem, so we're not going to do anything right now. Okay. Now, at this point, guys, I'm probably going to take control of the conversation. Okay. I've asked 2 questions. They've kind of admitted that they have the problems. I don't need them to admit they have the problems because the problems are right in front of me. So what I'm going to say at that point, I'm going to go, okay, so before I go, I just want to point out again that there's some mold growing in the wow, I'm forgetting words here now. Vacation has made me forget the word. It's sill. Some mold growing in the sill. Obviously, I pointed out the rotting over here to you. Looked like there was some glass impaction up here. All of these things are going to affect things like energy efficiency. That's why most of your neighbors are starting to replace their windows, sir. And it looks like you're going to have to do something with them eventually. May I make a suggestion? Okay, so take control of the conversation, guys. That's the most important thing. Anybody here can do exactly what I just did, right? You're just doing the script. It looks like you're going to have to do something with the windows over the next couple of years. May I just make a suggestion? Now, what you're going to get right there at that point, you know what you're going to get. You're probably going to get look, I mean, you can make a suggestion, but I'm not interested right now because most people are going to let you make the suggestion, right? So take advantage of the fact that they'll let you make the suggestion. So that person says, and by the way, too, I know I'm going quick right now. I'm trying to make this a short video, but pause at any point in time if you need to. Slow me down if you need to. That's fine. You can do that, right? So what I'm going to do at that point, I say, man, make a suggestion. The customer says, yeah, I mean, you can make your suggestion, man, but I'm not going to be doing anything with the windows anytime soon. It's not in the books. We have a lot of other stuff going on, whatever they say. Oh, I'm actually glad that you told me that, sir. Okay. I can either take that approach. I'm actually really glad that you told me that, sir. That being said, what I would do in that case, value the visit. Okay. I completely, I mean, you only moved in 2 years ago, so I completely agree with you. I'll tell you what I do then. Okay. And then, or even, well, of course, sir, I wouldn't expect to catch you on the date ready to replace your windows, but we are getting ahead of ourselves. One of our foremen would just come out. Okay. So again, I'm going to go with, may I make a suggestion? Look, I'm not going to do anything with the windows right now. You can make your suggestion, but I'm not going to do anything with the windows right now. You just moved in not that long ago. Not going to happen. Oh, no, of course. I mean, 2 years is not a long time. You're right. Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what I would do then, sir, is just have somebody come out just to take a look at the windows. Obviously, there's some problems. They would test the windows out, check for energy efficiency loss. And look, if we can't be of service to you, then we'll just recommend someone else who can. But, sir, if we could help you, even if it's down the line, at least you'll have the information for when you're ready. Now, I'm guessing that at least sounds helpful to you. Okay. So notice what I'm doing there, guys. I'm just adapting the value of the visit to fit to what the customer said. And just so you have the information for whenever you decide to do it down the line. Okay, stuff like that is adapting to what the customer said. They said they don't notice a lot of problems. Well, sir, obviously you do notice some of the problems here. That being said, they'll come out and actually check for energy efficiency loss and problems like that. Okay, so I'm just expanding on what the customer already said to me and what I already said to the customer. I'm not making it confusing or difficult for them. And then I end with the question, does that sound helpful? You should get through the value of the visit 85% of the time, guys. This is what's going to help you do that, okay? So I get to the question, does that sound helpful? And the customer is going to give me feedback at that point. They're going to give me probably an objection, right? Now, usually what's going to happen at this point, not all the time, but usually what's going to happen at this point is they're going to give me a more specific objection, right? Now, they might not. So let's just go off there now. Let's just go off. They say, no, man, you know what? Not doing the windows. Like I said, I'm not interested. I'm good. Okay. All right. So I'm glad that you told me that. And again, I agree with you. It's definitely not the time for you to do the windows, being that you just moved into the home. I will tell you though, sir, all I would do is just or all we would do is just go over your options with you, answer any questions that you might have, and then leave you with a quote for 1 full year. That way you at least have the information set aside. Okay. Or you can go with the rebuttal. Very few of our customers have money for the aside for windows. That's if they said they had no money or they weren't in a position. Okay. You could go with a rebuttal like that. All right. If you're ready to install the Windows State, you would have called us. That's why it's important that we get the information in your hands now, sir. That way, eventually, when you're ready to do it, at least you have that information set aside. And the goal of the visit is just to go over your options, answer your questions, leave you with a quote good for 1 full year. Any of these things work out, guys, it's just about getting back to the value of the visit. The transition is what is most important. So with me, what I would go with, even in a situation like that, is, well, like I said, sir, I'm glad that you told me that. And 2 years is not a long time to be in a house. I get that. That being said, the only goal of our visit is just to go over your options, answer any questions that you might have, and then leave you with a free price quote that's locked in for 1 full year. So at least you have the information set aside. Now, I just need a little bit of information from you, sir. I have your last name here as Jones. What's your first? Now, if you're afraid to jump directly into I have your last name as Jones, what's your first? I understand that. So there's a transition line you can use, which is, I just need a little bit of information from you. I have your last name as Jones. What's your first? Now, you might think in your head, well, what does that do for you? What does that do for me, rather? But it does. Try it. Like, pause the video right now and just try that line with it. And I'm telling you right now, guys, it works tremendously. It really does. Okay. So that brings you through the value of the visit. Okay. Overcoming adversity in this script is extremely important. So what I ask you to do is this, is pause the video again. I got to end the video here soon. But what I ask you to do is this before we end the video, is pause the video again and just practice those couple objections, but with the basic rebuttals that I just talked about, with something that's not going to impact you or the customer negatively, something that's not going to give you negative feedback. Just very basic stuff. Transition's most important. Remember that. So practice that. I'll tell you what, I'll give them to you, the first couple. Okay. Go to, may I make a suggestion? Okay. And give yourself a, sure, you can make a suggestion, but I'm not interested in Windows. And then after you're done with that, go to, does that sound helpful? And give yourself a, no, it doesn't. I'm not interested. I just moved in. There you go. Okay. Work off of that. But this is how we practice and get through this stuff, guys. So pause the video real quick, go through that. Okay. So just to kind of close out here. All right. I know there's some pause points in this video. No, it's quick. To overcome adversity in the job, you have to first overcome your adversity outside of the job. You have to not misassess your problems or misassess issues that you have going on. You have to understand, guys, that it's not you that's causing an issue with the job. It's not you personally. It's not what you can and cannot do. Anyone can do this job. It's not for the people that don't want to do it. You have to want to grow. That's the biggest thing. You can't want to do door-to-door for the rest of your life. You can want to work in the door-to-door position, a management role for the rest of your life, but you can't just want door-to-door as your goal. You have to have a deeper goal than that. But if you do, then you'll be able to capitalize on it and do extremely well. So what I'm asking you to do now is just to think about this, okay? Think about what you can do. And before you give up on yourself at a door or in the job or in anything in life, really assess what you have going on, assess the problems, take some time to reflect, take a day. It's Saturday today. Take Sunday to relax, spend time with yourself in your mind, put your thoughts down on paper, put things into perspective for yourself, guys. This is the rest of your life, okay? You matter to our company, you matter to our department. Please make sure you take this to heart. Thank you very much for your time.